Hi everyone, it's Sister Folk, and I will be doing the first portion of our critiques, your optional video critiques for tonight. First of all, I just wanted to point out the things that you'll be turning in as a reminder to make sure all of you get full credit. Okay, you have essentially two parts to this assignment. First of all, your ad that you are making that will go along with a professional ad and feel cohesive. They will feel like they're part of a campaign, have similar messaging, similar colors, things like that. Okay, the second part is you are doing a slide presentation that needs to be at least 6 pages long with one introductory slide that would have something like a logo, your name possibly, maybe the brand message that the ad campaign is promoting, something like that. Make it visually striking. The coolest ones I've seen usually have the logo really large and some high contrast of colors and typography. Make sure you have contrasting typography in those slide presentations too. There are some good examples up here, so be sure to check those out when you are looking at the slide, or maybe that down further. This is a good example. This is a good example. And then I also have some on our class Pinterest board. If anyone wants me to share that, feel free to post it in the discussion board. I think I've already posted it on one of my sections. So if the other section wants me to post the class Pinterest board with some good examples there, feel free to let me know. And then you're going to have those, the new ad and your slide presentation, both saved as high quality PDFs, and of course your blog post PDF with the link to your blog. So be sure to check those 4 things off as you're doing your upload into iLearn so you can get the maximum amount of points as possible. Okay, let's go ahead and jump over to our actual ads. We will go through them in the order that they are listed here. And so first of all, I think Christopher, you were the first one to opt in. Okay, so your ad, I don't see your initial ad that you're modeling this one after. Oh, here it is. It's just down lower. Okay. So care makes a man stronger. Cool. Okay. I like this ad. It's kind of neat how it's following the rule of thirds a bit, maybe a little bit off, but it has the messaging over here and then a cool image. So let's see your spin-off on this. Care makes a man stronger. Okay. I like how you kept this similar, but you don't, I'm worried a little bit that you just like selected this and copied it over, and you do need to be the one to actually type in the messaging, and you should change it up a little bit. So make sure you do that. So maybe you have something that plays on this funny expression on his face, and you can say, anxiety makes a man stronger, or something, or ever watchful, making yourself stronger, something, but it needs to be, you need to be the one to find the actual font for it. You can't just copy that over. Okay, and then another thing is these images are pretty good. I really like how you have his hands overlapping. This up here looks a tiny bit odd, so make sure that his hand isn't getting cut off away from the line. Make sure it's getting cut off on the line. And then the same for this baby. See how the blanket that he's laying on just abruptly ends? We have a rule in design where you never want anything to abruptly end in a straight line that isn't realistic unless it's up against something. So I'd recommend making this baby quite a bit bigger so the edge of the blanket can end actually on the edge of the page here. So the baby's quite a bit bigger, and then you could have dad peeking in from the background, okay? And yeah, I would probably kind of try to tie in his face to the message somehow, but you're definitely heading in the right track. Your background color, this looks good. Maybe it looks like you're kind of pulling it out of here. You might even consider doing it more so, pulling this one of these colors, because you don't want it to kind of clash. You want it to kind of feel like it's in the same vein. Let me see your other slides. Okay, they're pretty simple so far. And make sure you're consistent. See how this is center aligned, but over here they're left aligned. and I would love to see you add in some contrasting typography. So if you could try to find a typeface that looks maybe like this for like original and then Dove, you could maybe even download the Dove font from dafont.com or another website that has free typefaces. So you have original in a nice strong sans serif, and then Dove in a cool, similar to this logo, Dove ad or something in these words. Okay, so play up that contrasting typography. Show me you still understand. That's a good rule of design, but I am totally fine with your background being mostly simple. But don't make it too boring. I think this might be a little bit too boring. Okay, so push yourself a little bit by introducing mostly contrasting typography. I think would help you out. I do really like that it's just all white on this kind of nice teal colored background. So I think that's a good choice. All right, so hopefully that's some food for thought. Thanks, Christopher. Okay, and then Adam, you are next. And I really like this original ad. Very cool. Nice. Okay, I just read it for the first time. Okay, one thing I'm going to tell you right off the bat when I'm looking at these is this looks a little bit more amateur, possibly because of the size of your typeface here. And I know in the class we talk a lot about things being legible, which is very important, but if this actually was in a magazine, you might be thinking this typeface is a little bit too big. Okay, so play around with that. You might want to reduce it a little bit. Overall, I definitely like the theme. I like the direction you're heading. We need to work a little bit more on the selection of this foot. See how it got so rocky? The thing that probably happened is the highlight on the shoe is so light that when you selected the leg and the shoe, it's taking away this part of the shoe because it's thinking it's white. So if the background was white and it matched that, you're going to need to do this initial selection and then click the button to add to your selection, and probably go in with the polygonal lasso tool or just, hand select that lasso tool to add the selection back in here. Okay, so that is going to help this not look so awkward. And then I don't know how much I love this background. It looks really pixelated along here. It doesn't look like it's clean and crisp like this image. I definitely like the shadow here though. That helps it feel more realistic. So I would look around. I'm assuming you have 3 images here. 1, 2, 3. Maybe I would look around for a different background image where you can hopefully keep this typography popping off the page, but maybe have it look a little bit more crisp. Because one of the things that works really well for this ad is the texture, and that it's up close, and that it has these kind of really highly saturated colors. And here you're kind of doing that with the blues, blue and blue, but you're missing some of that high-end texture look that the first one has. So if you could possibly find something, imagine this with like a really cool, maybe slate floor or something, and then a blue wall, or marble, kind of high-end textured, and that would help it maybe match the tone of the other one a little bit better. And mostly it would just help this background seem a little bit more realistic, not so pixelated. Okay, see if there's anything else. I probably would try to make the shadow a little bit more right along the edge here. See how it gets lighter along there. And I think maybe that's making it look like it's floating a little bit, because it's still kind of looking like it's floating on the background. So try to see if you could add some darker shadow right underneath it, and I think that might help a little bit. Okay, thanks Adam, look forward to seeing your final. Okay, let's see who is next. Ronald. Okay, your initial ad, definitely like it. Voyez plus clair mon moi, cher sœur. Okay. Happiness is clear. Okay, I think someone mentioned the spelling. Okay, happiness. There you go. Sadness is blurry. Then happiness is clear. Okay, so you have a little bit of a challenge because this is obviously in French. But I speak French, and I'm pretty sure this says, go away, emojis. I'm pretty sure it says, see more clearly with kleptonic. Okay, or keloptic, okay? So see more clearly with. Then let's look at this one. Okay, so you have clearly, which is good. So you could have some kind of play on this. Okay, so I'm going to put blurry. If you decide to use your own slogan, here's how you would properly spell it. But maybe you could play around with something that it says, see more clearly with keloptic. Yeah, you could just have it be in English, see more clearly with www. Or you can leave your slogan if you really like it. It makes sense. And just do those little edits, okay? But messaging aside, that's maybe the one thing I would work on just a little bit more. But I think English is your second language, I believe. So if you want to come up with another draft and then just email me what you're thinking in terms of the sentence or two you want to use, then that's totally fine. We can brainstorm a little bit more. But when it comes to this, it looks really nice. I definitely like it a lot. You did a great job with selecting the eyeglasses and changing this background. The image looks really, really nice. I'm guessing you picked this color because it matches this, but I might be a little bit more inclined to pick a color that matches the background of your image. So let's look at this one. See how the background is this kind of muted color that goes along with the image? I might want to do the same thing here. Maybe you could pick like a really pale yellow or one of these light blues, do a selection here, or even a light green, and that might kind of have the actual image itself feel more cohesive with the page because your frame really pops a lot, and we want to make sure the focal point is here inside the page. Everything else looks good though. I might bump this down a tiny bit. I would probably try to align it with the bottom here, although I'm not sure if that's what they did in the original. Let's check it out. It looks like it's pretty close, okay? So I might bump that line on yours down a little bit more. And also maybe consider, no, this looks like the font size is about the same too. The other one looked like, actually I think the font size in the other is a little bit smaller. So I might make the font size on yours a little bit smaller too. No, maybe it's the same. It's hard to tell when I have to click back and forth. Could be the same or yours could be a little bit bigger. So just look at that. But everything else is looking really good. Loving your selections, and you have a really great start here to your ad, Ronald. Okay, thanks.